Hello, everyone. My name is Kendra Mickens, and I will be discussing Virginia Henderson and her need theory tonight. Just a little information on the PowerPoint presentation. This PowerPoint is actually going to cover Virginia Henderson and her need theory. We're going to actually review her work as a nurse as well as an educator. Both those have been noted as contributing to her development of her theory of need. We're also going to look at how her theory has contributed to both research, nursing practice, and education as well. Just a little bit of information on Virginia Henderson. She was born November 30th, 1897 in Kansas City, Missouri. But she actually grew up in Virginia. And researching and studying Virginia Henderson, I actually learned that her father was a lawyer. And it is said that they actually moved to Virginia to be closer to Washington, D.C., where Virginia's father actually defended the American Indians against the American government. We can see that in 1918, Ms. Henderson started her education as a nurse at the Army School of Nursing at the Walter Reed Hospital in Washington, D.C. It has been said that Ms. Henderson actually went into nursing from a desire to help. During that time, even in the hospitals, it was still said to be a situation where they were in terrible, dire straits. So she wanted to actually help. In 1921, she actually started as a nurse after she obtained her diploma in nursing and started at Henry Street Visiting Nurse Service. Then in 1923, she started her role as an educator, which we will see was a long role for her in nursing education, and she started that at the Norfolk Protestant Hospital. In 1932, she obtained her BSN from Teachers College at Columbia University, followed by her MSN then in 1934, and it noted in reading about her that it was intrinsic for her to actually go back to school. She actually went back to get her BSN because she felt a need for further education. And then she actually then started a 14-year career at Columbia after she obtained her master's degree. In 1953, she became a research associate at Yale University, where she actually came back into contact with one of her former mentors, Annie Goodrich, who she originally met at the Army School of Nursing. And Miss Goodrich went on to become actually the first dean for that School of Nursing at Yale, is someone who actually first instilled the importance of education of nurses into Miss Henderson. Miss Goodrich is someone who felt that educated nurses could make a bigger impact on improved health of their patients as opposed to the nursing assistants at that time who didn't have as much education. When we look at Ms. Henderson, she did die at the age of 98 in 1996, but prior to that time, she actually visited nursing schools throughout her 90s. She also participated in international teaching and speaking engagements. And of course, through all of her contributions, she became known as one of the modern day mothers of nursing. When we look at highlights from Ms. Henderson's career, she helped create nursing curriculum for the National League of Nursing. She also revised the fourth edition and then went on to write the fifth edition of Harmer's textbook of nursing. She also directed the Nursing Studies Index Project, and that is actually the first annotated index of nursing research. And as our book and Dr. Colvin have pointed out, that Sigma Theta Tau International Library is actually named for Virginia Henderson. When we look at the development of her theory is actually noted as being one that is inductive. It actually came from both her education in becoming a nurse and also in the different experiences that she had. Her theory came as she actually developed and learned more and then came up with her own opinions about nursing and the impact of nurses on the needs of their patient. She actually is known for identifying her definition of nursing as her concept. When we look at different principles she learned actually from her education, we can see that the physiologic principles that Henderson was exposed to actually helped create the base for her theory of patient care. And then it is her time working as a visiting nurse in New York City that she was able to draw upon her experiences to see that it's not just taking care of the patient while they're ill, but also promoting their independence to help them be able to continue to get better after they leave the hospital and that hospitalization is over. And then we see that her theory defines the role of the nurse as it relates to the patient who is ill, who lacks strength, or the patient who lacks knowledge to care for themselves. Henderson's theory is based on certain assumptions, one being that the nurse cares for the patient until the patient can care for themselves. Also, that patients desire to return to health. Nurses are willing to serve and devote themselves to patients, and nurses should be educated at the university level. And the base of her theory and the major concepts of her need theory, and that the nurse is needed to help the patient during a time when they can't care for themselves. She also developed these 14 concepts, which are known as the 14 activities used to evaluate, nursing care and actually promote their independence, which can be seen here. And you can see it actually goes through things from just Maslow's hierarchy of needs as we look at airway and breathing. So breathing normally, eat and drink adequately, the ability to eliminate waste, move and maintain desirable posture, sleep and rest. Also being able to maintain body temperature. She goes on to talk about keeping the body clean and well groomed. So she covers hygiene, the ability to communicate actually what the patient needs to others. She also includes their faith. And then also work-life balance. If you look at 13, player participate in various forms of recreation. And then also she promoted the use of available health facilities. When we look at the impact of her work on research, she actually is one who promoted changing the focus of nursing research. Prior to Ms. Henderson, a lot of the focus on research was evaluating the educational processes of nursing. And she actually promoted the shift to actually evaluating the practice and the outcomes of nursing. How are our interventions actually benefiting our patients? And then it is said that her 14 activities, when you look at them individually, they each on their own can stand as the basis for research. And then her need theory has served as a framework to help confirm value, again, of tested nursing interventions. And a care dependency scale was created by an international team based on Henderson's concepts of nursing. When we look at her impact on nursing practice, Henderson's 14 activities have been used to evaluate nursing care, and you've seen the different areas that it covers. It's not unilateral, it's definitely multilateral in the different areas and multidimensional and how we can apply it. Her theory promotes nurses furthering their education in order to provide better care. So not just education for education's sake, but to actually improve the outcomes of our patients. The theory also promotes nursing recognizing their role in educating patients on how to stay healthy and prevent injury, which is a difference in that she didn't just focus on our role as we deal with a patient who is ill, but again, also a patient who may lack knowledge on how to stay healthy. And then that care dependency scale that was developed out of research on Henderson's concepts is used in practice for fall risk screenings. Regarding the impact her theories had on education, her theory has been published as a part of numerous nursing textbooks. Her concepts have been used in nursing education, and she is noted as contributing to nursing literature for over 60 years. Also, through her theory, Henderson again has encouraged nurses to continue their education and seek education on a university level. In evaluating how the theory has been used to promote how her theory has been used to promote safe quality of care practices. I actually took those 14 activities for client assistance, which are all geared, according to Ms. Henderson, with the goal of helping the patient resume their independence. When we look at these, we want them to be able to, with health promotion, eat and drink adequately. So promotion of that, promotion of sleep and rest, selecting suitable clothes, keeping the body clean and well groomed, avoiding dangers, avoiding injuring others, promoting worshiping according to one's faith, communication of one's emotions and needs. I looked at it also as a promotion of work in such a way that there is a sense of accomplishment. Um, and then going on and looking at the other two in this area for player participation in forms of recreation, and again, use of available health facilities. And then for the other activities that were not included, in evaluating them, I saw them more so from an evaluation. How are they breathing? Are they able to breathe normally? Are they able to eliminate their body waste? Are they able to move and maintain desirable postures? Again, also, are they maintaining a body temperature that's within normal range? So again, when I looked at the 14, I looked at it from both some of them being used for just promotion and others being used as guidance for how we should evaluate our patient. So I think you can look at different areas of safety through all 14, and then also just quality of care practices and evaluation for the activities that you see here. Again, with the goal being that these will all promote independence for the patient, for them to be able to take care or excuse me, resume care of themselves after their hospitalization. Although I don't have the ability to play this for you here because of time constraints, I've also included these two links. They both are actually showing the same interview of Virginia Henderson, so you would have an opportunity. Feel free to copy and paste, or to just write down the address where you can actually see an interview with Miss Henderson from 1978, so you can actually see and hear her in her own words. And lastly, here you have my resources. Thank you very much for your time.